And I'll say that this happens to me as well. You know, the feminine energy and others will flow and follow my cracks, pushing into the spots that we need to grow and become sturdy so that we know that they're there and can push back and can grow in that strength and be that for other people in our lives. Oh, I know that you are going to be talking to Jeff this evening, and you and I are going to be connecting next week. But I wanted to send a video response to you regarding not only your most recent email, but a couple of the emails that came before that. You are doing an extraordinary job. The fact that you are mastering these conversations that invite such honesty and truth from her about things that I know just hasn't been on the table for active conversation between you two. It's just amazing about why are we not having sex? What she shared with you about her not feeling like she's enough is enormous. It ties into so many things. Yes, it ties into her controlling behaviors. It ties into her perception of herself in relationship with you. And it was a great and enormous admission about how she feels about herself in general. You see, I'd like to say that women are really confident beings and never look in the mirror wondering if they are enough. But it happens all the time. And that's a little hard for me to say because I would never want to say that, you know, women by nature lack confidence. But there's something so huge about a woman knowing her worth and answering the question, I'm enough, I'm beautiful enough, I'm smart enough, I'm loved enough, I'm connected enough, I'm enough for this person in relationship. It's just a constant dialogue in our heads. Even those of us who are constantly doing our personal work and our self-esteem and our self-identity. And that seems a little crazy to say in this day and age. But again, it's such a huge connection to evolution and the woman's position in that, you know, cave woman constantly assessing, is she safe in this world? Is the partner I'm with still wanting me, attracted to me, or are they going to go with the younger, more fertile woman next door? So the fact that Lori shared with you that she feels like she's not enough is it's kind of like she just showed you her underbelly. And I know it came up in the context that she was saying, well, if you are thinking our relationship is not good, then that must mean I'm not enough. And if you're not going to come with me because I'm being, you know, in a horrible mood and everything, they're telling me I'm not enough, then guess what? I'm not enough to have sex with. And that is so painful and yes, controlling. And it was definitely a huge admission to you from her. There's no way that you wanting to work on your relationship with her is making her feel not enough. It's already there. It's there in the way that she communicates with you. It's there in the way that she's living her life right now. It's already there. And all your requests to work on relationship are doing is tapping into her shame and guilt of feeling like she's not enough, has not been enough for you, is not enough for herself, and all the ways I'm sure she's hard on herself, even if she doesn't know it. So your work on relationship and your request of her to work on relationship and repair this is not causing her to feel not enough. All it's doing is kind of lifting up the veil of what's going on in her and asking her to feel the tremendous shame and guilt of that. I'm sure she does not feel like she's good enough as a woman. I'm sure that's a huge pain point for her. And you're feeling the protective shield of that. So taking that information, like, how do we move forward? I think we're continuing to give you space, right? From the backlash that you feel to having a frame to see what's going on in Lori. And one of those ways is, gosh, the way she deals with fear and pain and feeling out of control is to try to have power, to withhold. And yes, part of her characteristics is she is controlling. And so when you're watching her behavior come towards you, it's in the frame of, yeah, she's dealing with anguish with controlling behaviors. The other part of this is kind of being in the question of, because I know you asked her you told her, you said, Lori, you are enough. And I'd be curious to hear more about that conversation. But to even go into that place of questioning yourself and questioning her, like, what would make her feel like she is enough in relationship with you? And this is not, again, you to have to fix that in her, but to kind of show up in a soul-to-soul level of, here's this person in front of me who's in enormous pain, enormous self-doubt, enormous self-criticism. And what is something that would offer a little bit of kindness and healing into that part of her? What might start the momentum of her feeling, gosh, I am good enough as a woman. I'm beautiful enough. I'm good enough in relationship. And I don't know the answer to that quite yet. And I don't even know if that's a place to move forward to yet, but it's definitely a place for us to move forward to in the future. I fully believe in the spiritual concept of champion soulmates, and that the people in our lives, no matter how long they're here with us, how long we're in relationship, and when the break happens, they're here for a reason, and we offer them something deep as a gift in their soul development, and they offer us something deep in our soul development. And often people are attracted to mirrors of themselves. And so there's also the idea of, gosh, behind my confidence as a man, behind my confidence in my incredible career, my ability to be a wonderful dad, is there a part of me that does not feel enough in turn? And is that being mirrored in my partner right now? And that kind of goes to the second thing I wanted to touch on. In a previous email, I offered you phrases and starters to conversations with Lori where you are leading the relationship, calling out the elephant in the room, asking for clarification. And I know those conversations may not always feel fabulous, even though you're claiming your ground, conversation by conversation, leading it. Think of the practice you put in now, and those conversations are going to have benefit no matter if it's with Lori or a future relationship. The feminine respects powerful leadership and guidance and conversation that's not attacking, that has clear sight where it's going, that's grounded. And so when you have these conversations with Lori, you are creating a container where you are the masculine presence. You are building her natural respect in you, even though you may not see it right away. And you're also building that container for how you will continue to have conversations in relationships in the future, because they will always be there, whether we're in a relationship that is really, really painful or we're in the most loving, fabulous partnership we could ever have imagined. This is key for you to know as a man, because I asked you, like, what is feminine energy to you? And one part of feminine energy it's a little tender for me to share is if feminine energy is like water. Water always pushes into cracks, crevices, weak areas in the riverbed, right? It always flows it flows smoothly against a sturdy bank, and it flows into cracks and pushes into it. Lori's feminine energy, although it's coming out in really intense ways and not loving ways, is pushing into those cracks, those places where you have been uncertain of how to hold ground and guide conversation, which is perfectly natural, right? Because we're not taught this ever. And I'll say that this happens to me as well. You know, the feminine energy and others will flow and follow my cracks and my softer points. It's always in the highest vibrational and intentional place, pushing into the spots that we need to grow and become sturdy so that we know that they're there and can push back and can grow in that strength and be that for other people in our lives. So that continued practice you're having in conversation and feeling how this feminine energy is kind of pushing into those spots, those tender spots. I know it's hell, and it's such a gift. Such a gift for that vision that I know you've been practicing having of a tremendous, incredible, passionate relationship. Everything you're doing now is going to make the future better. And I guess that brings me to my last point, because you had pressed in a little with me about Cynthia. You said, oh, you will have this good relationship you're envisioning, and saying, how can I possibly imagine that with all the stuff that's going on right now? Vision has little to do with what is right in front of our face right now. Vision is something that we hold up higher than our anger or our worry or concern. It's like a flag that we've put on a distant mountaintop. And we know that we are climbing to get there. And in the middle of it, we're like being hit by windstorms, like we're having right now in Loveland, that bowl you over, and you get the rain and you get the fire. But that flag isn't going away. It will be your flag as long as you continue to climb to get there. Vision, the kind that feels good because it's not attached to any one person or any one thing, is the most powerful, momentum I've ever experienced. It's the thing when you are literally or figuratively on the ground, curled in a ball, coursing with thoughts of, this will never get better, and I don't want to do this, and why is this so hard? It's the thing that when you can hold it in your mind, pulls you up and moves you forward through the mud. As if someone has reached down a hand and grabbed you, and you are lifted up toward hope of something better. That's what you're doing when you're practicing your vision of this amazing relationship that you deserve, far beyond crumbs, with a woman that has no shape and form yet, because we don't know who it's going to be. But she's there. She is that flag. We just don't know what color exactly, what stripes are going to be on this flag yet. Thank you for always sharing what is truly going on for you and letting me be a part of this journey and sharing with you the realness of what goes on in women, how it manifests, the wateriness that loves to push in on you and ask you for your greatest strength, and for letting me hold vision with you of something that is there. We don't know the timing. We don't know if it's next month. We don't know if it's 5 months. We don't know if it's 3 years. But my experience is vision, the flag. It always appears. And it always appears better and more amazing and more magical than I ever could have imagined. And I think that's what makes this life journey and how we are asked to grow through relationships beyond worth it. I look so forward to talking to you soon. Bye.
I'm gonna tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burn hot. I'm gonna tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra with some frozen eyes.